my name is Sunny Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. If you like me, then you can hit that subscribe button down below. I've been looking and I've been thinking, wow, I have not made very many videos this year, but I do have a reason. So I figured I would sit down kind of informally, I guess, in my new lovely little space and kind of give you the reason I have been MIA this year, except for the travel vlogs that I've posted, because that's pretty much the only thing I've posted this year, which is unusual for me. I have been doing literature courses in order to get into the teacher's education program that I wanted to do. I have taken 4 literature courses a semester, so 8 literature courses in total this year, plus 2 history courses. So I've been doing so much reading, I haven't had time to do much else. So I figured I would talk about the courses I've taken and all the books I've read. I have them all here in front of me, minus the short stories or like online readings or my recueil de cours, like little, you know, basically where they compile a bunch of articles that they want you to read and you do. So last semester I took 2 English courses. I took 2 English courses and 2 French literature courses each term, plus a history course. So last term, the 2 English courses I took were English literature until the 18th century. So for that, I obviously didn't read all of the stories in here, but these are the Norton Anthology of English Literature, volumes A, B, and C, or volume A. Volume 1, sorry, if you're going to like the volume 1, volume 2 pack. So this is volume 1, technically, split into volumes A, B, and C. I read lots of poetry and stuff from these guys. They're quite hefty. This was not as involved in terms of time, but it did have a lot of essays involved with it. So the books are divided into Middle Ages, 16th, early 17th century, and then the Restoration in the 18th century. The other English course I did last semester was Elizabethan Shakespeare course, because I love Shakespeare, and I figured it would be a great thing to do, I guess. So these are the plays we read. I am missing Richard II. My copy of Richard II never came in, so I just used like an old free online version of it, but it doesn't have the footnotes and stuff, so like when you're trying to make an argument based on footnotes, I just didn't write about Richard II, basically is what I'm saying. So we read Richard III, Twelfth Night, Much Ado About Nothing, which is my favorite Shakespeare play, Love's Labour's Lost, and Hamlet. 2 French literature courses last semester, Le Moyen Âge, which is like French literature of the Middle Ages. So for that class, Rue de Boeuf, Le Miracle de Théophile, Les Laits de Marie de France, which I think everyone and their dog knows, and Chrétien de Troyes, Le Chevalier de la Charrette, which all these editions, if you look, I'll show you this one. It gives you the original Ancien Français, ou is it Ancien? Anyway, the old original text and then the modern French text. So that was kind of cool to learn about all of that. But obviously I read way more than these 3. It's just that they were all like online readings and stuff, so I didn't keep them. Littérature francophone de l'Afrique et des Antilles. So French literature of Francophone literature of Africa and the Antilles. We did a lot of reading of like poetry and stuff, so I have like a recueil with a bunch of stuff in it, but these are the books. We read Tahar Ben Jelloun, L'Enfant de Sable, Sonny le Boutanzy, La Vie et Demie, Amadou Kourouma, Les Soleils des Indépendances, L'aventure ambiguë de Cheikh Hamidou Khan, Alain Mambankou's Black Bazaar, which is quite good. There's actually a song that matches this, so I'll see if I can find that and then link it down there, because it's pretty sweet. I did a history course called Deciphering the Medieval Era, and this was the book. This was a textbook. Actually, this is the older version of the textbook. She said either was fine. So this is A Short History of the Middle Ages, the 3rd edition by Barbara S. Rosswein. I mean, it's a pretty decent textbook, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was interesting. It has lots of maps and like full page color photos. For this past semester, aka the one I'm currently writing exams for, I took, again, 2 English literature courses, 2 French literature courses, and a history course. I feel like the readings for this semester were just like so much more involved. I took Tales of Mystery and Detection, which was interesting, but involved a lot of reading. Because we did, for the first bunch of weeks, we just kind of read 2 traditional, like classic detective short stories. And then we got into actual books. So we read, I guess I'll kind of do them in order. Raymond Chandler's The Big Sleep. Robert Parker's Looking for Rachel Wallace. James Lee Burke's Tin Roof Blowdown. Then we read A Cold Day for Murder by Dana Stabnow. The Laughing Policeman by Mashwell. I'm not pronouncing those names. Kathy Reich's Deja Dead, Still Life by Louise Penny, and the one that's in my bag is Terry Pratchett's Men-at-Arms. I also took, hilariously enough, comic books and graphic novels, which I thought would be easy and really was not. Miss Marvel's No Normal, this is the first issue. I really liked this. I might read more of these if I can find them, that is. Anyway, quite good. Then we read the classic, which is V for Vendetta. It was pretty good. I liked it. I love the movie, so it was interesting to read the place from which it had originated. Next we read Sandman, Season of Mists, which is volume 4 of the series. It was okay. I don't have huge feelings one way or the other. Saga, which I loved. I loved Saga. It's quite interesting. The art is pretty beautiful. This is Planet. I'm sure you heard that beeped. I think the name of this one is, it's Extraordinary Machine. Yes, it's the first one. This is by DeConnick and Delandro. Next we read Monstress by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. It was quite good. Next we did a unit on graphic journalism, so we talked about Joe Sacco's Palestine, which is quite the dark read. And then we did Extraction, Comics Reportage. This is the 2nd edition, which was published by Ad Astra, here out of Ottawa. Next French literature course I took was Le Roman Québécois depuis 1970. So that is after the Révolution Tranquille, if you're at all familiar with the history of Quebec. We read a ton of books. Les Roses Sauvages de Jacques Ferrand. La grosse femme d'à côté est enceinte, which is Michel Tremblay. Volkswagen Blues de Jacques Poulain. This was my favorite. I love, love, love this book. If you read French, I suggest it. If you don't, then I believe you can find translated versions of this book. I know you can find translated versions of this book, which is the next one we read, Le Bruit des Choses Vivantes by Elise Turcotte. It's an excellent book, and fun fact, I guess, we actually had the author visit the class, which was super awesome. She was so chill and she loved talking about her work, and we got to do a Q&A with her, which was so fun. Marco Micon's Le Figuier Enchanté, which is quite an interesting book if you're interested in the perspective of immigrants. Then the last one we read was Catherine Mavrikakis, Le Ciel de Bay City, which was interesting. It's very weird. It requires a lot of suspended reality type thinking. The other French literature course I took this semester is Classicisme. So it's basically the class that comes right after Middle Ages. So I took Le Moyen Âge the semester previous, and then I took Classicisme. So basically I covered French and English history for literature for the exact same period of time, which is kind of funny. So for this class, these are just the books we read. There's obviously also a recueil with a whole bunch of little shorter kind of snippets, but these are the ones we read. Corneille's Le Cid, Le Tartuffe de Molière, Racine's Andromaque, La Princesse Belle Étoile et le Prince Chéri, Les Maximes de François de la Rochefoucauld, and Les Lettres Portugaises, which I believe is Gabriel de Quireg. They're all short too, which was nice. They were kind of something I could sit down and finish in an hour, maybe an hour and a half, instead of like the Tales of Mystery and Detection ones, which took me like several hours to read. And then finally, the history course I took this semester, which was eye-opening and incredible, was History of the Native Peoples of Canada. We watched some incredible movies, we did a walking tour. It was a really, really fascinating course. Anyway, the textbook. The textbook was this one. It's Canada's First Nations, A History of Founding Peoples from Earliest Times. Let's see if I can get that without the sun. By Olive Patricia Dickinson, who I believe is Indigenous, and then David T. McNabb. To be honest, it's a pretty dry text. And the other one we read is this one, which is The Inconvenient Indian by Thomas King. So this is a lot more equivalent to like an oral history, so he kind of walks you through his perspective. There's no footnotes, there's no anything. It was a 2015 selection for CBC's Canada Reads, so it is actually very good if you want kind of an Indigenous perspective on Indigenous history in North America. So this isn't just Canada. So those were all the books I've read, and kind of the reason why I haven't been so active on the YouTube recently. Anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you'll be interested in some of the things I read and want to read them yourself. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, click that subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!